What's up, folks? It's your buddy Fatalroadie. Today we're doing the results for the Backlash pay-per-view. We started off with the one and only match on the kickoff show. Andrade versus Apollo Crews. Zelina Vega and Angel Garza at ringside. Kevin Owens comes out to be on commentary. This was a really good match. There were a bunch of good spots in this match. Garza tries to interfere to distract the ref, but Owens takes him out of the equation. Apollo Crews hits a powerbomb, gets the pin, and retains his title. This is a good match, like I said. Should have been on the main card. We really could have done without the kickoff show. The opening match on the main card is a triple threat match for the women's tag titles. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Sasha Banks and Bayley versus the Iconics. Oddly, they said this triple threat match is going to have 3 people in the ring instead of 2. I don't know. At first I thought this was going to line up with some problem coming up, but it didn't. This was a good match, however. Chaos ensued. The referee had no control over what was going on. Like I said, that aside, it was a good match. After another round of chaos, Sasha Banks pins Alexa Bliss, so Sasha Banks and Bayley retain their titles. And I think they're supposed to be facing Io Shirai and Shotzi Blackheart on NXT on Wednesday, so that should be a good match. Outside of the Performance Center, Braun Strowman's pulling up in what Michael Cole calls Strowman's Plymouth Grand National. What? Hey dipshit, it's a fucking Buick. We then go on to our next match, Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. This was a nasty match. Not saying it was bad, but just everything going on. Mean. Sheamus is thoroughly beaten down on Jeff Hardy. After a thorough thrashing, Jeff Hardy starts to make a comeback, but Sheamus nails the brogue kick, putting a nail in the coffin and getting a pin. I was actually surprised. I thought Hardy was going to win it, but then I thought we have Extreme Rules coming next month. That's probably going to be the blow-off match. Just please, can we go the next month without all the stupid drunk rehab bullshit that we've been doing? We then have Asuka versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's title. This is an okay match. It was a good bit of back and forth. Unfortunately, it ended in a double countout. Good match, shit ending. We then have Braun Strowman versus Miz and Morrison for the Universal title. It was announced that whoever wins, whoever makes the pin, Miz or Morrison, will be the one that wins the title. Before the match, Miz and Morrison debut their music video, which means I muted the fuck out of the pay-per-view. I seriously could not care less about this fucking music video that they have. This is basically a repeat of the Kevin Owens Andrade Angel Garza triple threat match from earlier this week. Miz and Morrison were working well together until somebody had to make the pin, and then everything started falling apart from there. Braun Strowman got the power slam on John Morrison to retain his title. Cool. Next. We then have Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE title. MVP is at ringside. Before the match, Bobby Lashley puts the full Nelson on McIntyre, was not letting go for a couple of minutes. Once the match starts, it was a physical match. Bobby Lashley was seriously taking it to McIntyre. Lashley having most of the offense in this opener, but every time he tried to put McIntyre down, McIntyre wasn't having anything and kicking out of it. McIntyre started the mountain offense. Shortly after, Lana starts coming down to the ring. She gets up onto the apron, causes a big distraction, ends up taking a bump off the apron from Lashley. McIntyre hit Lashley with a Glasgow kiss, followed by a Claymore kick, getting a pin to retain his title. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have a fallout between Lana and Lashley coming up on SmackDown. Great. Can't wait to see that. We then go outside of the Performance Center where the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders are having a fight. Ivar gets slammed into Strowman's Grand National. The fight continues into the Performance Center, goes back outside. A whole bunch of motorcycles come pulling up. The main rider is Akira Tozawa, followed by a bunch of ninjas. They want in on the fight, and the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits become the Viking Profits. The ninjas attack, they get beat down. Akira Tozawa produces this big-ass ninja. The Viking Profits beat a hasty retreat, running up along the trailers. They end up fighting each other again, end up getting tossed into a dumpster, and that's pretty much the end of this. It's later announced that they're not going to have the Raw Tag Team title match. Oh, well, I guess that kind of means we're going to have another stupid fucking bit tomorrow. We then go to our main event, Edge versus Randy Orton in the greatest wrestling match ever. Before the match starts, a microphone appears in the middle of the ring, and a ghostly Howard Finkel announces both competitors. Once the match starts, there was a lot of action. There were a lot of good spots. Randy Orton gets busted open. Edge pulls off the Three Amigos a la Eddie Guerrero. Both Orton and Edge beat the ever-loving hell out of each other. Both competitors pulling off pretty much everybody's finishers. The pedigree, the rock bottom, the unprettier. There were a ton of near falls. It looked like Randy Orton hit a low blow, nails Edge with a punt, and gets the pin. The stretcher comes out, pulls out Edge. Randy Orton celebrates up on the ramp as we end the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view as a whole was decent. I mean, it wasn't nothing spectacular. It was decent. Only ran 3 hours. Okay. Average length. Definitely could have been worse. Could have been like 4 fucking hours. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The greatest fucking wrestling match ever. Was it the greatest wrestling match ever? No. It was decent at best. One, it could have ran about 20 minutes shorter because it ran way too long. And two, personally, I really could have gone without the piped in crowd. Granted, I know they were like the NXT people around there. I'd have been fine with them hooting and hollering. I did not need to hear shit being piped in. You were hearing people cheering that weren't there. So we'll have to see what happens tomorrow on Raw and Friday on SmackDown to see what the fallout is of the Backlash pay-per-view and to see what's going to be lined up for Extreme Rules. But that'll do it for the results for this pay-per-view. Leave a comment down below what you thought of the pay-per-view or what you thought about this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.